I was born in like a very crappy part of Pennsylvania. I'm an hour outside of Pittsburgh, and my life was like it was good at first. It was like I had my friends, and like I had like basically three good friends growing up, and we kind of did like everything together. And I had a really good family life. Like everything was fine. And then like elementary school kind of like came and went, and then middle school came, and then that's when like I started getting like bullied because like I gained, like I was a fat kid growing up, and like I got like thanks. And I got bullied for like my weight. I wasn't exactly like the best looking at the time, and I got bullied for that. And I only really had my friends. Kind of got depressed and like made like I was like one of those cringy kids. Like I wanted attention so bad because I got like 0. I'm gonna mute him. I like really wanted attention because like it wasn't anything like family related. It was just more so like school. Like I only had my 3 friends and that was it, and I was getting bullied. I didn't have like really any attention from guys, and like at the time, like being a middle school girl, like all you ever really wanted was like guys attention and shit. So yeah, so really all I like ever wanted was like a boyfriend and shit, and like all my friends were like getting boyfriends anytime like we would go out to the mall and shit. Like yeah, so my friends are always the ones like getting boyfriends and shit, and that really took like a hit on my self-esteem and like personality and stuff. And I went through like a kind of dark time, and like you know, that edgy stuff. Like I was like doing self-harm, like attempted suicide, and that whole like spiel. And my friends eventually told, like, when they found out about it, they told the guidance counselor, and then the guidance like walked over there. They had to talk to me. My parents like just then found out about it. My mother was like really distraught. My dad was like really upset because he thought he like failed as a father, like that whole thing. And basically anything you could think of with like, oh, my kid's self-harming, it's something I did, like that whole thing went. And they were like really great parents. It wasn't anything they did. It was more so like the people I was surrounded with in public school. And that was like, I would say, my lowest point in life. And after that, I started like, after I got like the help I needed, like therapy and crap, I started going on this dating app called Yeti. And I met this one guy, and he had only lived about like 3.5 or 4 hours away from me. And I was around this time, I'm like 15, going on like 16, maybe, give or take. And this guy was probably like 19, 20. So it was like, it was a pretty decent age gap in terms of like a 15-year-old and a 20-year-old, you know? So it took a lot of like convincing my parents, like for me to like meet up with this guy. And like eventually, after like talking and convincing them, we finally went, and I met him. It was really great. And I finally, like, that was like when I had like my first kiss, and like the first time I had ever hung out with a guy before, and like I felt great. It was like the best time of my life. Eventually he started trying to make advances on me, and I'm like, hey, I'm not exactly ready for that at the moment. He was like, all right, no problem. Went back home, went about my life. A few months later, we're just talking on the phone. Like, we talk about that, like, the PG-13 stuff over the phone. And actually, he came to my house and made the trip, and he stayed there. And we were talking, and then I went downstairs. He's like, hey, you should join me downstairs for a little while. I'm like, well, everyone's in bed at the moment. I don't really want to get in trouble for, like, sleeping with you because of the age difference. I'm probably 16 at this time now. And so eventually I go down there because, again, I like, you know, it's a fucking guy house. Like, I'm excited for it. And so I go downstairs, and he is like, again, like making all these advances on me. And he's like, hey, I don't understand how, like, over the phone you're like saying all this stuff, how ready you are, how you like want it, and I don't understand how like now you don't want it anymore. Like what's your problem? What's the matter with you? eventually it got to a point where I was like, I mean, I guess you're right, but like I just don't feel ready. And eventually it was like he just got like up to it, and then all that stuff happened. At the time, I didn't really realize how it was. He was just like, no, you're ready for it. I know you're ready for it. So just let's do it. And I'm like, okay. So like all that happened, and when he left, about like 2 weeks after that, he broke up with me. So that took a pretty bad hit on me personally. After that, a few months went by. I just kind of blocked it out, forgot about it, didn't want to think about it, just wanted to move about my life, didn't tell anyone about it. So after that, I met this other guy. He went to the same school as I did. We like grew up together, and he was like, hey, I just have like feelings for you. I started dating. Shortly into dating, he's telling me a couple red flags come up. He's like, I can see ghosts. I can like, he's like, I have a thing for like pain, and like he wanted to do like this thing with scarification because he liked the pain and wanted to like hang with like hooks in his back. All these red flags, and I'm just like, well, I mean, aside from the long distance relationship, would actually be my first relationship. No one else is interested in me. And at this point, I'm about like 16, 17. And I'm like, all right, it's fine. It took a while for me to be able to look at him the same way before as I did like after hearing that. Eventually it was fine. He still acted weird sometimes. He like tried to act like he was like this big tough guy, and like was always like, hey, if anyone ever gives you like crap, just know that I'll be there. I'll kick their asses or whatever. And I'm like, hell yeah, okay. But he wouldn't be able to do it even if he tried. Again, you never know. So that is my life up until this point.